All right, without further ado, this is one of my favorite things to do is interviews, but this is not a regular interview. This is a panel of gentlemen that I really like, I really admire, and I respect. All of these men that are joining me tonight are married, happily married, and they're going to share with us their experiences as being married men. Okay, because so often we hear in these spaces, we hear a lot of advice coming from people who are single. But if we want to get where they are, right, we want to walk in their shoes eventually, we need to be getting the advice from married folk. Like y'all know, I've done shows like these before. I've had couples. I had a Mary Brown talk about his 20-year marriage. So I'm really excited to do this. This is my gift to y'all. I know that this show is going to be amazing because I have amazing panelists, and I'm just very excited. Hey, Queen, you guys, I know I'm late. I appreciate y'all for coming. Um, oh gosh, where do I start? So, why this show? Well, I felt like the space needed it. I felt like the women needed it. I just want to hear Black men say, I've got a good Black woman and I love her and I married her, and I want him to tell us why. I think it would be good for both men and women to hear that. So y'all know how I do. We're going to get it started. There's something about I've done a lot of lady shows, y'all, but there's something about hearing certain words from a man. There's something about the sound of their voice. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all know Mahogany is good at a lot of things, but there's a lot of things Mahogany is not good at, and one of them is singing, honey. But I heard this man, and it's something, it wasn't so much the words, but it was the way the words were spoken, honey, and it just melted my heart. He sang that song, SWV song, Rain. So I've been practicing, and I'm going to sing. I'm going to try and sing it. So here we go. Let me see. Let me see if y'all can see me. Okay. No, no. You know what? I'm gonna try it at the end. I can't do it because they back there looking at me, y'all. I cannot do it. They back there looking, but I'm gonna let this young man do it, and then we're gonna get the show started. So hold on. Okay.
Down on me, let your love just fall like raindrops.
I'm coming back. Hold on. I just thought I'd share that. I stumbled on that, y'all, and y'all know whenever stumble on a good video, I have to share it with y'all. Okay, hey Soup, hey Cynical, hey 12, hey Queen. Thank y'all for coming. I'm about to let the men up. And thank you so much, Cynical, for sharing this video. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you all for being here. Yeah, it's something about things being told from a man's perspective, from a man's voice, that I think us as women, I think we need to hear. I think we need to hear it. And I think we need to hear it in a way that we could take it in. I think we need to hear it in a way that we're able to absorb it, you know, a way that's not necessarily aggressive, or a way that we got our guards up, just a way where it penetrates our soul, kind of like that boy or that young man sang that song. Okay, so I'm gonna let my guests up without further ado. Thank you. We have Alonzo Hall, honey. We got Business Talk with Kay, and we got Sheed. Welcome, fellas. Welcome. How y'all doing?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm great.
How you doing today?
Yes, honey. Yes. Who wants to go first? Who wants to introduce themselves first?
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
My name is Kay. I have a YouTube channel, Business Talk with Kay. I live in the East Coast, so I have a business. I'm 40 years old. Do you want me to talk about how long I've been married and stuff?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, so I've been married going on 10 years. It'll be 10 years this December. I have 3 kids. So yeah, that's pretty much that. That's about me.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Thank you, Kay. Sheed or Alonzo? Alonzo?
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. My name's Alonzo Hall. I have a YouTube channel as well, Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. 39 years old. I guess you could call me a entrepreneur. Been with my wife a total of 15 years, married for now, coming up on 6. Actually, in about a week and a half or 2 weeks, October 13th. We got married on Friday the 13th to have a spooky wedding intentionally. And I can't wait to actually talk about it.
Awesome. I'm glad to have you here also. Okay, so now we have Sheed.
All right, so everybody know me as. Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. We here. That's my name. You know, we here. The channel. And for those, I actually been married 17 years. It's funny that Alonzo say that he got married October the 13th. I got married October the 12th, right after my wife's birthday, so I won't forget it.
My wife's birthday is October 1st, so I did that so it was right after my wife's birthday, so I wouldn't forget it.
Hey, you got to do it sometime like that. I figured in myself I wasn't gonna be that dude that I always forget his anniversary, and that was the best way for me to go ahead and do that. Because me and my wife, we both Libras. Mine's on the 6th, hers on the 11th, and our anniversary's on the 12th. So we just take a big vacation and do something with each other for the whole week. Just kind of get away. But me being at the age of 40 as well, so it's times that you miss and you don't want to try to lose them, so you want to try to make the moments memorable. And like I say, what better way to celebrate your birthday and your anniversary at the same time? So you're commemorating the birth of yourself and your spouse, and also the love that y'all got married.
Awesome. Okay, let me bring y'all all back. Hold on. We're going to have some fun tonight. I'm very, very excited about this, y'all. All right, so I'm going to just go around in a circle. We'll start with Alonzo. When you saw your wife, how did you know that you wanted to marry her? What was it about her? What was special about her that you knew that you were going to marry her?
So this actually is a great question. Ironically enough, when I first met my wife, we were both thinking of just something casual. We weren't even thinking of a relationship. Um, but I think, believe it or not, the first day we actually met in person,
Mhm.
um, was the day that I ended up knowing. And there's a lot behind that. Um, First of all, if I can go into it a little bit, we met online. Um, we actually met through a dating and mating forum called Man and Wife. If you remember Fat Man Scoop and his wife Shonda, or ex-wife Shonda, used to have a show called Man and Wife, and we met on that forum. She was living in New York, I was living in Connecticut, and we talked online for about 3 months via video cam, and then I was unemployed at the time, and she was unemployed at the time, and then I just went out to meet her, and on our first date, we went to the movies, and she cooked a meal for me. And then I didn't leave her house for 4 days.
That must have been some good cooking.
Listen, here's the thing. I've had the stereotypical video vixen girl, right? The, light skin, 36, 24, 36. But she was like, I'll hook you up some ramen noodles. And then I hung up in her face, right?
You told this story before. I remember. Go ahead.
Yeah. But, this one, we also had an actual connection. It was above just the physical thing. Um, and we had such a good time on our first date, you know. It was an adventure. I wasn't from her town, so ironically enough, I can understand why when guys travel, they want to, but all you have to do is travel 50 miles outside of your, neighborhood, out of the 4 blocks you grew up on, right? I'm in Connecticut. I traveled 80 miles away, and that's where I found my wife, right? Just the next town over, basically. I ain't have to hop on a, flight.
Right, right. I could go on and on, but listen, America has millions and millions of people. There's plenty of people here. If you want that, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
traveling, but
Yeah.
you could definitely meet somebody here. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome, Sheep Stay Sleep. It's good to
Hey,
see you.
Cynical. Sheep
Yes,
stay sleep. Salute, baby.
I've been watching him. He's been talking about Remy Ma. But I'm gonna keep it going because I actually have quite a few questions to ask each of you gentlemen. So I'm gonna go to Kay. How did you know your wife was gonna be the one?
Oh man. So I met my wife in NY, New York, right? So I went up to New York first to see her.
New York in the house. Ain't nothing like a New York trip.
Exactly. And so it was her time to come to Baltimore. So she came. So I went to work. I left her in the house. So I'm like, I'm going to work. So by the time I got home, everything changed in the whole house, right? My laundry was done, bed was arranged, living room was arranged, everything was clean, food was done. I'm like, God damn, you were just not sitting here just watching TV. You were actually working. She was actually putting my apartment together. She's like, I just didn't like how it looked. I just had to fix it up. That's when I knew. I'm like, okay, all right. And the more she kept on coming back, the more I kept on seeing what, she's like wifey material. So within a year, I bought a ring and I proposed. And we've been married 10 years. So I figure that there's no point of wasting time. What do we want to date 4 or 5 years for? I'm in my 30s. She's in her 30s. Just make it happen. So that's when I popped the question. Within a year, we got married the following year. And, 10 years later, we're still married.
I love these stories, y'all. I'm gonna keep it going. Hey, Cassandra, welcome everybody. We're gonna keep it going because I got a lot of questions. Some of them a little.
I'm sorry to say, personality as well. She had that old school. It's my job to take care of a man. It's my job to make sure that you are taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that really attracted me to her. just like what Alonzo said, he went to his girl's house in 4 days. He ain't come home. You know, so I always like to be around her. You feel me? So, so we are really, really good friends. We're not just a couple,
Right.
like husband and wife. We are friends. We have date nights. We have conversations. We talk about business. She has a high business IQ. So things I talk about on my channel, some of the ideas come from her. So we have a great connection. So that's what makes us really, really, really good friends.
I
Also, partners.
I love that. I love that friends partnership.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and get to Sheed, and then we're gonna. I got tons of stuff to ask you guys really quickly,
All right,
but
go
go
ahead.
ahead, Sheed. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask, what made you? How did you know? Like, what did your wife do that made you knew she was the one?
It was crazy. I couldn't put my hand on it, because she was so nice.
Oh,
And like when we first started dating, like it was crazy because I actually met her. I always tell the story. My cousin was cheap. Instead of her go ahead and take her out for her birthday, then take me out for my birthday, she was like, "Man, I'm just gonna put both of them together. This is a coworker from work. This is my cousin, so I'm gonna put both of y'all together to where we going just hang out." And like actually, I wasn't even trying to date her, and then she just always told me, she's like, "Man, this is cool girl at my job. She real nice." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm partying, having fun." Plus, I was, doing club promote. So got to a point where I met her. I was like, man, she nice. Like she pretty and stuff like that. But I was like, just 50-50. I just knew she was a nice looking woman. But the more I got to talking to her and she was telling me how, she do things, how she, look at things. Even she cooked for me the first time she ever cooked for me. She had cooked and I where she at? She burnt the rice and she burnt the bottom and she was like, I never really burn rice. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I was like, what, you nervous or something? I kind of threw that in there. And she started laughing. I think we ate like rice, sweet potato, and chicken and green beans. And just simple little meal. And I was like, oh, you can cook? And then, apartment was clean and I was like, man, she keep herself together. And she really didn't hang with too many women, like a lot of drama. And I was like, some just kept telling me it's something special, like different about her. And even to the point where me wanting to marry her, I was talking to my uncles and all them, and they was saying, man, when you get a good woman, don't let her go. And they was like, man, it's gonna be like one lifetime you might find a good woman, and most people find a good woman in two lifetimes. And if you want to wait, you might lose her, or to a degree. And like I just kept saying, it was something about my wife, and I couldn't put my hand on it until the point where I wanted to marry her. Then that's when I was like, man, it wasn't a thing like the whole cliche thing. She's not like other women, and she's the one. It was just always I had this feeling about her. And just like Kay was saying, we became friends and before all that because my cousin actually we actually started hanging out. We went to a I think played pool together and it was just more on a friendship. It wasn't really like a date, really. It was just us hanging out because I was like, well, you want to hang out sometime? And we started out hanging out, talking, being friends, and then we evolved into the relationship. And we were moving to a point where, it was kind of moving pretty fast to the degree, like what Kay said, within that year, it was less than a year for me. And, I was like, I can propose to you. That was the thing. I was looking at the legit longevity of getting married, but I'm like, why not propose and go ahead and get married all within the same time frame? Because I'm like, if I feel you the one, and like I said, I was 25 at the time, and I was a little more mature than others, so I wanted to get married and settle down. I've been wanting to have kids since I was younger, but my thing of it was my wife, she had already had two, and she was telling me, why you never had any kids? I was like, well, I want to be married so I could be there for my kids and stay in the same household. So I didn't really want kids outside of marriage, and that's what made her spark her interest in me even more as well.
Very mature. That's a very mature way of looking at things, especially at 25. You guys, I'm so impressed, but I'm gonna move on. Let me see, because I got a lot for you guys, and we're actually gonna play a little game towards the end. Y'all know I don't do very long shows, so okay. So the next question will be for Alonzo, and the next question will be. So you all talked about things. I want to recap things, and I want the ladies to pay attention. So basically, we heard this several times. They had a friendship. They had attraction, of course, but the women had some type of domestic skill, whether it was cooking, cleaning, taking care. They showed initiative. So these are things we could just assume that men look for. Okay, so the next question will be for Alonzo, and the next question is, as a husband, what do you do for your wife that makes it worth I won't say makes it worth. What does your wife get from being married to a man like you? Like, how do you make your wife feel special?
Give her that dick. No, let me stop. No, but no, seriously. One of the things we actually had this conversation recently. One of the things she said is I allow her to actually be soft. So she's had this conversation with my mother very often, and it's ironic because my wife has a very high powered position. I'll tell you behind the scenes exactly what she does. But she's also in her position, she's in management, right? And anytime you're in management, that's a masculine position, right?
Mhm.
But my mother, who is a 50-plus-year-old single woman, never been married, um, is like, oh, well, if I was you, I'd such and such and such and such. And if I was you, I'd such and such and such and such. And she's always like, well, respectfully, Miss Hall, I'm married. You're not. And, you know, that's the reality of the situation, right? Um, so number one, I never give her a reason, right? So I'm a salesman, right? For a living. And I'm also an Aries. I'm very flirtatious, right? And I'll flirt with women right in front of her. I'll see, the chick with the jiggly jiggly, and I'll look right in front of her. Why? Because she knows I ain't got no desire for absolutely no one but her. But yes, I can appreciate something else that looks nice, but
Yes.
it ain't for me, you know. And I'm her best friend as well, right? Just like she's mine, I'm her best friend.
Okay.
So, for example, um, you know that feeling you get as a child where you got a great grade in school, and you want to go run home and tell your mom, hey mommy, I got the blue ribbon. I've become the one that, hey, when something good happens, she wants to run and tell me. When something bad happens, she wants to run and get comfort from me, right? So I'm now her pillar,
Mhm.
right? Good, bad, or indifferent. If she's had a bad day, she can come to me. I'll rub her feet, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's not just financial, because financially, on paper, she blows me out the water. Technically, I make $0 an hour, right? I'm 100% commission. Now, if you look at my income, the last 6 months, I made about almost 150 grand, right? But she has a similar income, right? But she has to work day in and day out for hers. But she knows that come hella high water, no matter what, if I gotta go collect cans or whatever, I'm going to deliver.
You got her back, honey. You got her back. That means a lot. That goes a long way in a world like this. Did you want to say
Mm.
anything else?
No, I can stop here.
Well, that was a lot. I'm gonna let business talk with Kate. Go ahead. What is it that you do for your wife that I feel like they're lucky, but tell us why. Tell us why she's so lucky to have you. What do you do to make her feel good?
Well, that's a great question. I let her be her. Uh, you know, So for example, decisions when it comes to the house. Like for example, we're about to move from the apartment, and we're looking for a home. There was some places I liked, some places she liked, but there was no point of going back and forth. I let her pick where she would like to live.
Right.
I let her be a woman. Some people can't stand a woman that's always going to complain. Women are always going to complain. Doesn't matter where on earth you go, pick them up. They're always going to complain. Your mama complain, your aunt complain, your grandmother complain. So I let them vent. I let her vent, and I tell her, what do you need from me? You know what I'm saying? We don't argue. We talk like adults. We don't argue like children. Now, don't get me wrong. She will go off when things are not done. That's just the woman nature, and that's what they do. But as for me, I try to find ways to fix it. So, for example, let's say we do have an argument. If we do have a disagreement, we have to make sure we discuss it before we go to bed. We do not carry over a beef to the next day. We try not to. Yeah.
That's
So she has a lot of creative ideas. I let her talk about it. She has a few dreams that she would like to do. She wants to start this business. I support her in whatever she wants to do. She might say, "Oh, I need a I need a new refrigerator or something," and I'm looking at finances. So what I do is I take her shopping to look at the numbers. One thing with women, no disrespect, I want this big, I want this out, I want this to have it this, and so the thing is, I can't, I won't say anything. I'll just keep quiet. I say, okay, let's go and look around and see how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? And if there's a budget for it. So one thing that she appreciates that I do is let her be her, and she does the same with me. She let me be me. So, and that's the way we're able to connect with each other very much.
awesome. I love that. And Alonzo said the same thing. That's really important. I'm writing all these little notes right at the end. We could, hey D, so we could bring it together. D's
Yeah.
another one that I know
Either
he's
else should
married.
be up here too.
If he wants to, D, let me
He's
know.
another married man.
Yeah. This is for hey Faith. This is a show we're doing for married men. But if you married men want to come, you can come. All you gotta do is let me know and I'll drop the link. But it's only for married men. I want to give Sheed a chance. And welcome, Faith. It's good to see y'all and Mela and everybody and Zero and Joe. Okay. Okay, so Sheed. Like I said, we could all see why your wives are very lucky. But what would you say that you do to make her feel good? Why she's so lucky to have you as a husband? What do you do for her?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, my wife is spoiled. I done
Oh,
spoiled her so long.
that's
We was talking one day, and we went to counseling, and the counselor, my wife was kind of stressed a little bit, with school and stuff. She was, dealing with school, so counselor was like, well, maybe you might need to, do a little cleaning up around the house, help her out. And I said, well, I cook. I mean, I clean. She said, what about cooking? I cook. She said, well, maybe you need to help with the kids. And my wife was like, well, he helps with the kids. He take them more than I do. And so the counselor's like, well, what's wrong? Why you stressed out? She was like, I don't know. And the counselor's like, you kind of spoiled because I do the most. I know how to cook. I've always known how to cook. My great grandma taught me how to cook. Mainly my grandma, I knew how to cook. I clean, hands down, I clean better than my wife. I tell my wife that all the time. I said, if I come home early or I don't do certain jobs extra, I clean the house better than you. I said, it's not a knock to you. It's just the thing of it is the way I was raised. That's how I was taught to clean it. I don't just wipe off the countertop in the bathroom. I will wipe off the counter, clean off the mirror, clean the floor, everything. You know, if I get to start cleaning, I'm gonna clean everything, and it's just different ways. Somebody else clean a little bit, come back tomorrow, clean the rest. I mean, like I said, hands down, my wife is spoiled. Like, and I spoil her. Anytime she be like, my friends told me one time, he was like, man, didn't you just go out of town last week? I like, yeah, my wife, she wanna go somewhere else this week. He's like, dude, you done took 3 trips and one. He's like, you only got 3 weekends. He said, if you got one more weekend, you're gonna have a trip every weekend. I was like, well, I might don't go next week because that's hitting my pocket. But at the same time, if she wants something, to a degree, we kind of work out the budget and we just go for it. But
No, I'm gonna say this and welcome D, sweetheart, to the
Yeah,
panel.
what's up? What's going on, Kate?
What's up, baby?
How everybody?
I,
What's up,
oh,
Alonzo?
What's happening, Captain?
All righty.
I want to say this. I
yeah.
did think about you, but these gentlemen, we did this so random this morning. I was in Sheed's chat, and I was like, I think I want to do a show with you and these men, and they just agreed to it. But you definitely did cross my mind as one of them. Joe
Okay.
Deb, yeah, Joe Deb. I know you're married, so if you want to hit the panel, any married man can hit the panel. I'm going to go quickly since now because I want to give everybody a chance to say a little something, and then I want to ask you guys some really kind of intimate questions to make it fun. But so D, what you missed, I would like you to tell us how long. I kind of know, but tell the people how long you've been married and how did you know your wife was the one, and then what you do in your marriage to make her feel special. Like, why is she such a special woman to be your wife?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, man, I've been with my wife since high school, my senior year in high school, and she's 2 years younger than me, and uh, I would say that um, we've been married now for it'll be 19 years in December. We'll be
Wow.
married 19 years. We've been together since '94. So it's actually been next year. So we've been together for like 29 years. It'll be 30 years next year. But I'm from a very small town, very rural area, and it's not uncommon at that time where people kind of married their high school sweetheart and stuff like that, or they would date and get married after high school or what have you. So as far as me knowing that she was the one, I think probably after I graduated from high school and kind of went to college and kind of was doing my thing and stuff like that. And I would come home a lot. My dad didn't like me coming home a lot. I would come home like every 2 weeks. And I lived like maybe an hour, 15 minutes from Baton Rouge. So I think the time I was away in school and stuff, I thought about her a lot, and I tried to date other girls and stuff like that, but I would still think about her and stuff like that. So I think that's when I kind of realized that was the one, and we eventually, she ended up getting pregnant like a year after that, about 2 years after that, and then we definitely took the relationship more serious, and when we went in school and stuff like that, as I was going through, developing myself as within my field and stuff, she supported me a lot in that process. So that's kind of when I realized she was kind of not just one instance, but it was just gradual things over time. As far as things that I do for her, like she's spoiled as can be. Like,
She just said that.
spoiled is crazy. Like, I mean, I'm talking, man, she probably got about 50K worth of purses. Like, I mean, it's purses, whatever, stuff, that she like. I mean, I don't say no to my wife that often. You know, but she's not really a materialistic person. I'm more of the materialistic person per se, but
Preach. I
she
got
never
that.
like really demand, like say, hey, I want this, I want that, outside of a Louis bag. But anything other than that, she pretty much is really not that not that materialistic as far as with clothes and things like that. But also, just like my brother, is that how do you pronounce Sheed we hear?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, like now I don't do the cooking, but everything else I was very, very. She really, really appreciated me as far as with the kids, around the house, keeping things together, around the house, particularly, especially with the kids. Um, I did a lot. I was probably more active with the kids, um, in their formative years, and even the early, I say up until maybe third or fourth grade, because the type of jobs that I had working in mental health were it allowed a lot of flexibility, and it allowed me to do a lot of different things while I was at work. And she had a job where it was not that flexible. So during the week, I spent a lot of time with the kids, and she definitely appreciated, like, and I had two little girls. That was my first two kids were girls. And she appreciated the time I would take out with the kids and do little things that they wanted, and stuff like, my little girls like to do stuff, and stuff that little girls like to do, and I would always, take them to do little things like that. And she really did appreciate the time I would be with the girls and do little activities that they wanted, and that she wished she could have did, but because of the type of job she had, she worked a lot at night, late evenings and stuff, and I'm usually at home by 5, every day. So yeah, so that's kind of how things work. So, very active as far as in the household. It wasn't like, I do nothing and she do everything and work up. No, it's a lot of marriages, like you don't hear that a lot, but a lot of functional marriages, people help each other and they do what they can to make life easy for the other person, not friction and arguing, or we understand, like, hey, if I'm good at this and you good at that, we do that. We complement each other, and to me, I think that's very important, in a marriage or any long-term relationship.
Awesome. I love the way you answering those questions. I'm gonna ask one more question to everybody on the panel, and then I'm gonna start. Oh, go ahead.
Can I just add one thing? So, in terms of this, the one thing I do as well is I do spoil my wife. But like D. Darrell said, my wife is not materialistic, right? So, but I am. So, like, I like certain name brands and this, that, and the
Right.
third. So, like, they don't have like the shoe section really for men, right? There's only a couple of but they do have the shoe section for women. So like I'll go to Macy's and like go shoe shopping for her, because like I can't give, but I like to go to the store and spend money. So
Right.
I can't do that for myself. So I gotta buy stuff for her.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And, that was big, because I remember, man, because like when I first like started doing stuff, like really, really, like once my career started taking off, or once I became licensed and stuff, I like to do, like, it's the timing of things. I think it's not all, you don't want to saturate gifts, but the timing of it can be very valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say she, like the guy was saying, as far as his wife being stressed, and we got to understand, and I'm a therapist. I know you went to you all saw a therapist and everything, and so sometime for women, we got to understand that the stress that we can't see, or a person, like everybody looking the outside looking in, the stress can just come within just trying to make sense and trying to just cope with life itself. It doesn't have to be necessarily one specific thing. It could be just a summarization or just a whole lot of things going on at one time. And at that point, you just kind of stressing and trying to be at a certain level. When we create standards for ourselves and how to do certain things, that trying to keep that level is stressful in itself. And so it's so yeah.
My bad.
Okay, but yeah, I try to I know like we talk about like as far as a woman being a helpmate to a man, but I think that's also reciprocal. I think we have to be a helpmate to each other. And I think one of the things for me, like I don't have a problem with like babysitting, cleaning around the house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cook. Cooking is the only thing I don't do. But everything else, I'm willing to. Whatever you ask me to do, I'm not going to pout about it. I'm not going to complain. I look at it as this part of being a man.
I wanted to repeat what D. Durrell just said. For me, I pretty much do everything. I cook for the kids. I take care of the kids. Just like D. Durrell, he has a flexible schedule. I also have a flexible schedule. But there's one thing about being married that you must understand. I have 3 kids. So your wife, the one thing about women is they have to do the laundry and fix this and, get the girls' hair done. So by the time the end of the night, they're mostly tired.
Yeah.
So as this goes on, you have to understand your wife, like especially when it comes to sex and marriage. A lot of some men do complain like I am not getting what I'm supposed to get. So, and sometimes I do understand that. Sometimes some women are tired, but you have to start understanding what if I'm looking for something, what do I need to do to get what I'm looking for? One thing with women is when they're in the house, right? When they're in the house, they are focused on the kids. They focus on everything in the house. So we begin to have a program. So what I start to do is we take the kids, drop them off at her sister's place, and we go on vacation. Just me and her. You know what I'm saying? And when you take a woman out of that normal day-to-day from that house, she's somebody else on vacation. She's not nagging. She's not thinking about work. She's not thinking about the kids. It's just you and her. So you can get whatever you want to get. Whatever you wasn't getting the last 3 months, you can get it. That's why most people are scared to get into marriage, because these types of issues come up. But you have to find some things that is going to work in your marriage. So that's what I found in my marriage, just like what D. Durrell said. You have to find a way to work it out and figure it out. So that's what I found in my marriage. We have to go out of town. We don't have to stay in the house, So that's what I discovered about my marriage.
Awesome. I think I'm gonna be honest, all of you guys, and I know you just joined us, Dee, but these men, including yourself, have been giving a lot of jewels, and I'm gonna recap everything at the very end, but I love it. But since I was gonna ask one more question, but I think I'm gonna jump straight into the game, and then you guys,
Ask the question.
Ask the question.
Well, the game is gonna be, I guess the next question would be is, obviously you guys are glad that you did it, but there's a fair culture that I'm noticing on the internet that everybody's just afraid. What if it doesn't work? What if it don't last? What if they divorce me? How did you guys get over that fear and say, hey, I'm gonna take the chance? Like, what made you want to do it and be separate from maybe your friends or other people? What made you?
I'm gonna answer for all of these guys.
Okay.
We probably wasn't listening to the internet when we made that decision. So
right.
But go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, really. So that was it.
I mean, realistically, I don't know. It's something she wanted, because I was a knucklehead and I dragged it out. I didn't believe in getting married, this, that, and the third. But then I realized this woman was really here in my corner for me. and nobody else was. None of my homies was there for me. My ride or dies wasn't there for me. She was there for me. And I mean, in the tender moments, everybody who's a thugged out dude has that moment that he cries, and he cries on a woman's shoulder, right? The biggest dude has a woman small as you, Mahogany, that he's crying, snot running down his nose, right? And you keep our secrets. And
Aw.
I realized it was like this. What else really? There was nothing else out there, right? Because this was my friend. That like, and we're still great friends, right? So here's how good friends we are. My wife is a football fan, as am I. We have NFL Red Zone. My wife is dedicated to watching NFL Red Zone every Sunday. She
Wow.
is a Giants fan. I am a Patriots fan. And we still got married. Okay.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, there's so much stuff and dynamic that has to go on, and this is the stuff that sometimes it happens faster for you. I met my wife and we became boyfriend and girlfriend when I was 25, similar to Kay, but we had a different living dynamic. I didn't have myself together. She had herself way more together than I did. Um, but I started getting myself together, and I'm like, yo, what am I doing? Right? Because this woman is here in my corner. And I think like Kate, like she said, you get a good woman every once in a lifetime.
Yeah, I think people think that good people come a dime a dozen, and that's just not true in the world we live in today. It's just not true for both men and women. It's you find a good person in your life, you want to keep them in your life.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
another big,
anybody? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say another big thing too is like with me getting married. My cousin, he was telling me, he said, well, you can always go hang with your friends, but he said, do you want to be that 45, 50 some year old guy still going to the club, hanging with your boys and, maxing and relaxing? Or do you want to be the old guy where to a point, maybe your girlfriend here be changing your pampers, or you'll be changing her pampers because y'all guys love each other so much?
Mhm.
And it's always a thing to have a lot of young people want to have their best life at their younger age. I was always working. Like that was my biggest thing. As soon as I came out of high school and I was about to go to college, I started making a ton of money straight out of high school. So I had the decision to either go to college, have a little debt, but still have, a degree behind me, or I can just go into a field and just start making a ton of money. So I chose that path to make money now. And a lot of my friends, when they was getting out of college, like I was making more than them, out the gate, straight off the rip. But, I kind of took a back seat to that because I wanted to be home with my kids. That job put me in a position to travel more. And that's the thing with a lot of people in relationships. They think that time is gonna wait for them. Man, I'm gonna live my like this cliche thing, the young girls and the dudes saying, man, I'm gonna party in my 20s, settle down in my 30s and 40s. Why not settle down now? Why wait till you get older? That time is not promised to nobody.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
And
So
here's the thing. Oh, my bad.
now go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. No woman is perfect. Your wife, all of us are going to have, all our wives got something that will just piss you off. And you're like, what is you, this woman? You know what I'm saying? But so doesn't mean you should pack your bags and move out and run. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's no cheating. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. With the people on the internet, they make it seem like going to another country to get a woman solves all the problems. A woman is a woman anywhere on the continent that you go. And not only that, they're going to bring a woman that they'll have to take care of. They'll have to get her green card. They will have to pay for her school. Maybe if she has to go to school, they will have to feed her, clothe her. She has to establish herself when she moved from one of those third world countries to America. She has to establish herself. And once she's established herself, she will have a choice to move on and find somebody in her own from her hometown, or just leave you in general. There's no woman out there that's perfect. Sometimes we as humans, like all of us right now on the panel, when our wives met us, when all the women that we married to, when they met us, most of us wasn't perfect. We wasn't working good jobs. We wasn't, dressed professional. You know what I'm saying? It took time for us to build our careers, buy a house, fix your credit. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to build with people. When me and my wife, we started, we was broke. We lived in a small apartment. Then we moved, then we got better jobs, government jobs, bought a house, bought a new car, start businesses. It starts from somewhere. So when you get into marriage, don't think everything is just going to work out immediately. And stop listening to these people on the internet. They're just bullshit. That's what most of them do. They're just doing it for clicks. Because once they get off this YouTube, they got a girl sitting on the sofa right there. All right. Most likely they'll get married to them. All these people, Lead Attorney and Obsidian, and all these people talking bad about black women here and there, it's all bullshit. All these men love women. That's the honest truth. All of them. They all love women, unless they're gay. You know what I'm saying? They all love women. I live in Baltimore. I've been in 100 homes. I've seen single mothers. And every time I go into a home, D. Durrell, I've told D. Durrell this so many times, there's a man sitting on the sofa taking care of the woman's kids. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when these kids, they come on the internet, these young men, they listen to people in the manosphere and they listen to this bullshit, right? They think, dating a single mother is bad. Getting married is bad. But in reality, it's false information. Very false information.
Right. For myself, like, I think my upbringing is in the neighborhood I grew up in. Like, it was not necessarily representative of what a lot of people in our culture would experience, because I got married at I was 27, and basically approaching my late 20s, and the environment I grew up in, everybody was married. Like I would say all my friends' parents were married, and we all lived in the same neighborhood. And I would say about 70 to 80% of the black people in that town were married. Like, it was not a high single mother rate where I grew up. I mean, and being it was a small town, because I grew up in a very, very rural area, but the neighborhood I was in, all of my friends in that neighborhood had 2-parent homes. Everybody. And so when you grow up in an environment like that and you see stable, productive relationships, you automatically assume when I grow up, I'm going to do the same thing. And and see, that's the thing that, like when you create trends like that, and the kids grow up and they grow up in that institution, they will seek that when they become older. And I think it's working in reverse, because when you grow up in families that are not, or let's say they're, a female head household with no married man or whatever, then people don't necessarily, because they didn't see that, they don't necessarily understand the value of it, as opposed to someone who grew up in a productive, loving family, or with 2 parents. You see the reality of it, per se. Now, of course, there are bad marriages, just like anything, but like for me, every, most of the couples, most of the households, were hit. Were basically they were all married for the most part. There were some people that just a few that wasn't, but the overwhelming majority were married households with 2-parent households. Some of the women stayed at home. A lot of them didn't work. I would say probably more than 50% didn't work, and the other half did work. Type of like my mom per se, before she went into business for herself, she did transportation and stuff, but she worked when she wanted to. That was like she had quit. Like you ever saw remember the sitcom Everyone Hates Chris? My mom used to act like when she would get a job and get fired, like because she like it was a little funny part where she'll say, "Well, I don't have to be here. My husband got 2 jobs," and my mom was kind of like that, and she was difficult on jobs because she knew she had a safety net. So, and then but she would work when she wanted to work. She knew that she didn't have to work, because my dad, he owned his own business, as he had wash interiors and stuff like that. And, he had a barber shop and stuff. And then he worked for another company doing stuff. So like, most of the women didn't work. Most of them were basically stay-at-home moms, for the most part. So when that is part of your reality, you're probably going to seek something like that when you grow up, because that's what you've been accustomed to. And I think that's the issue for us as a community, as a whole, is that we have to. I think that at some point we have to change that trend where people see the value in marriage, and by them seeing it being visible right in their face, an everyday thing, they'll most probably seek that when they get older.
Right. Oh, you guys. This has been wonderful. I'm not going to end it. We got to play our game.
Okay.
And then I'm a wrap it all. I got everything, you guys. I've been taking notes. And actually, I don't do this always, but I'll do it for you gentlemen. When I end the stream, just stay on just for a few more minutes. I'll give you guys some announcements, and then you guys can have a good night. Make some sweet love to your wives. Okay, so everybody's here. I'm going to go ahead with my game. This game is a little different. I'm asking you questions, but I'm going to use the number system, like I see so many guys doing here. So I'm gonna use the number system. So basically, I throw out a word, and you tell me on a scale from 1 to 10 how important it is to you, and then we just go boom. The number, how important it is to you, and then we go around. So Alonzo, you're first. Sex on a scale of 1 to 10. What's the number? How important is it to you?
6. I'd say 5 actually.
Okay. Kay, same thing with you.
I would say about 7, because the next thing you have to think about is money, because you got to pay the bills as well.
She.
I'll say about an 8 or a 9.
Oh, gee, it's getting higher and higher.
She loved it. She got good.
For me, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like when we first got married, like younger, it was a 10.
Yeah.
Very important. That was like, but now I say I'm about maybe an 8 or 9 per se at this point. It's important. You got to balance.
It's important,
work hard. You got to play hard.
Mm-hmm. I tell my wife, I say the difference between me being your friend and paying your bills and me just, being your husband is the sex. I say I don't pay my friends' bills like that. So sex is the difference between all women. Sex is the difference between all women.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I got y'all numbers down, by the way. I'm taking notes. I welcome everybody, but it's the boss man, Blake. It's his first time over here. I'm gonna say shout out to him. He is the editor, just if y'all didn't know. Thank you for being in the building. It's first time over here. But I'm gonna go ahead. The next question is beauty. Now I know these questions seem a little so I won't say beauty, because obviously you chose a beautiful woman. But as far as being a wife, let's just look at it as if you're a man that is looking for a wife. How important is the beauty? Alonzo,
8.
you're next at 8. What about you, Kay?
Oh, I will say about 8 as well.
Okay, 8 and 8. Okay, go ahead, Sheed.
It's kind of tough. I would say between a 5 and a 6 because I would say my 10 is the woman I picked. So everybody have their definition of beauty and what they look for in a woman. So everybody has the numbers are skewed, but I'll just say like a 5 or 6.
Yes, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I like that answer. You got the most beautiful. Okay, go ahead, D.
For me, in picking a wife,
Mhm.
to me, I'm gonna say maybe about a 6 because I feel like there's, you don't have to, I know Negroes looking at, they thinking 8, 9s, and 10s, whatever, based on your standard. But to me, that there's several other qualities. When you talking about a wife, there's to me at least 3, 4, 5 other things that's more important than beauty to me. Like,
Okay.
now if you dating and just want a girlfriend, I get that. But you talking about a lifetime wife, now there's other things that's more important. I'm talking about value system. I'm talking about loyalty. I'm talking
Character.
about ability to, as far as raising the kids, managing the house. That to me, there's a lot of the things way more important than beauty for me. I'm willing to look past some things if you good and proficient in the things that really matter. So that's just me. But I mean, of course, every man wants an attractive wife. But I mean, I just think that there's some things more important. But I'd say about a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you skipping ahead, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. The next thing is domestic skills, cooking and cleaning. How important is that scale of 1 to 10? Alonzo.
10.
Okay. That's because you like it neat. Okay. Go ahead,
No,
Kay.
no. Just the ability.
Oh, the ability. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you?
I would say a 7 because I also play my part too. We
Right.
do it together. So
Okay. Go ahead. The next person, she.
I'll say about a 7 too.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, D.
I'm gonna say about a 7.
Okay.
About a 7 also. It's important. It's not, because I do help out a lot and have helped out. I don't help out as much as I did when I was younger, but now, but definitely, the first 10, 12 years, I helped out a great deal. So about a 7.
Okay, we're gonna get a little bit deeper, and then I'm about to bring it to an. I'm gonna let you gentlemen give us a word. The next one is freaky. Scale of 1 to 10. How important is that your wife has a little bit of freak in her?
9.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
5. 5. I'm about a 5.
Okay. Keep on going. Who D?
Okay. Freaking them. I'm gonna say maybe maybe a 7, 8, 7. I'm gonna say a 7.
Uncle D, all those freaky songs you be singing, please.
I'm gonna give it a 7, man.
I know you want D Durrell.
Oh no.
I got a couple more for y'all. How important is it that she's good with finances? How important is that?
10.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I agree. But go ahead.
I would say about 8.
Okay. She can learn.
With me, I could say a 5. You can have some type of level because I can always teach you the rest. So Lisa, entry level, position. So entry level.
Okay. Go ahead, D.
For me, as far as managing money, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't place that high value on that because I really control the finances per se. But I'm gonna say maybe a 4 for me.
Okay.
It's not as important for me. I don't because I guess she'd always defer to me on that type of stuff. I pretty much take the lead on the finance. So it's kind of like, even though she's not bad with money, but I never held that like as being, as the most like as important. But I'm gonna say a 4.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Last question is, how important is it for a woman if you're trying to get married? How important is it that she get along with your family, or that she's close to her own? Like, how important is family to you? Scale of 1 to 10, Alonzo.
11 for both.
Damn.
Well, real quickly, because we're going to go around. I'd like you to expound just a little bit why you say that, and then we'll go around.
Well, when you're getting married, you're starting a family, and you're also not just marrying that person, but you're marrying their family, right? They're gonna they're gonna want to go to family gatherings. They're gonna have things like funerals. They're gonna have, like I remember my wife's uncle is named Alonzo, and he died on April 18th, which is my birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but those are things that you want to know. Also, because of things like, especially in our community, we have things like baby mamas and baby daddies, but we don't know the other people's family, so we don't know family health history. So my baby got lupus, and I don't know why.
right. I understand that. I'm glad you said that, because that makes sense. Because sometimes we get signs that, hey, this person has a troubled relationship with their family, but we don't always pay attention. I do think it's, well, I'll come back to that. Go ahead, Kay. How important is family? Whether they get along with your family, their family. How important is it?
Get along with oh gosh, that's a tough one for me.
It is.
I would say 5, because sometimes, like he said, when you leave your family, she leaves her family, you two become a family. Sometimes family members can cause problems. So when you're in a marriage, this is what I tell a lot of young married folks: when you are married to your wife, don't report your mom. Don't say things about your wife to your mom. She should not report you to her own family, because that's how conflict starts. So we try to keep away, not far away from family, but we try to keep a little bit of distance so we can focus on growing our family, because sometimes families can cause chaos,
Oh, yeah.
So we tend to just live in our own little bubble. That's my own.
No, I think I can understand that too, because yeah, I mean, they can't interfere, and I agree with the advice you said. Go ahead, Sheed. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is family relationships?
Well, family relationships, I would give it a 7. I mean, it's kind of important to me to see what type of relationship you have with your family, because it, kind of puts me in the mind frame of what type of relationship we're gonna have, or are you gonna oust me, don't deal with me, even if we get a divorce or we break up, or it depends on how we stay together, how you treat your family, because that's a big thing. You have a brother or a sister, if it's over something petty, you'll be that way with me. So it's kind of a thing, but then it's not, because, like Kay was saying, sometimes family, they kind of ruin relationships, and they kind of put themselves in the middle of things. So that's another thing, to the point where, like Kay was saying, we start our own family. These are going to be our own goals and things that we want to bring up for our family. So it's good to see that you have a relationship, but it's not like a big priority. So that's why I put it at a 7.
Thank you, Sheed. No, I agree. I agree with y'all. Sorry, I'm just giving someone a wrench. But go ahead, Dee. How important is the family to you?
Um, Unfortunately, in that we had some issues on that. My wife don't get along with my family that well. Particularly my sisters. They don't. That was an issue. And that was a problem. Now for me, I never really put high emphasis on it. I would say a 5. To me, it's because I understand. I'm gonna be honest. My family, The women in my family are messy as hell. And basically, her family, like she's from the same town I'm from too, so her family the same, and that's just how the women are just messy as hell. Just with it, so I get the culture, you know, and so the thing about it is that that was an issue, and I'm about as long as you are civil, okay, I'm good. Let's just be civil. You don't have to be buddy. You don't have to go and do things women whatever. And yeah, that was an issue there. That was one that even today, like that's been it kind of gradually got worse. But what I'll say is this, it's I just say just be civil. That's the best I can at this point for me. Just being civil, that's it. That's all I can ask for. As long as we not, because I'm gonna be honest, my I didn't see it at first, but my sisters did do some things. I got 3 older sisters, and they very protective of me because I was the youngest, and then my brother, because like for a long time I was the youngest, and they wanted a brother so bad, so they were very protective of me. As far as me being with whoever and stuff, they're very judgmental, very, very judgmental. And so early on in the marriage, I kind of overlooked some things, and then finally I had to correct them on a lot of the stuff they was doing. I had to stop because I started seeing it from her perspective, and she had legitimate issues on that. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I look at it when it comes to family. I'm gonna say about a 5.
Okay. Well, y'all, if you guys, first of all, I want to say thank you, Bossman Blake, for sharing, and thank you all for coming through. This was a great live, and it was very last minute. I know it's getting late, and these gentlemen got to get home to their wives, honey, so I'm not going to keep them much longer, but this was a lot of fun, and this is not my first show on marriage. I've done a few shows on marriage. I like to do this for several reasons. All I ask is that you guys stick around for the end, and then I'm asked that they stick around just for a couple minutes, and then we'll end the live. I want to say thank you to all you new people for coming in here. Bossman, thank you for sharing the video, and I really just appreciate you all. Now, before I drop you guys down so I could do my monologue, I basically want you guys to have it quickly. Each one of you take a turn, and I would like for y'all to give a message. I would like for you to say what you love about being married to a Black woman, but we're not going to do that. Maybe you could say, because I just think we need to hear it, but I'll put that in at the end because I'm going to give some positive messages to both to our people, men and women. So maybe you guys can just say, like, any advice. What do you think? You guys help me out. What do you guys want the audience to leave with about being married? What are some reasons why you would never give it up? So I'm going to start with Alonzo, and then we're going around.
So, number one, I'm appreciative of being married to a Black woman because she supports me, and supporting her as a man is supposed to do is support his family because he's the person who decides to create it. The advice that I would give in terms of marriage and not giving it up, number one, don't take marriage lightly. It's a big deal, right? So it is a serious decision. It is a lifelong decision. And you want to take it seriously. But realize that, it's a great thing, right? People will give you these BS statistics. Oh, 70% of marriages end in divorce, and then literally turn around and tell you to start an LLC, not stating the statistic that 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, but they're not telling you don't start an LLC. So let's not look at the failures, and let's look at the successes, right? Even those who have been married multiple times should probably show you the value of marriage because they're able and willing to do it more than once, right? Most men really want to be married for literally the same reason that, Sheed K and D Darrell and I all said, right? Call it tricking or simping or whatever you want. Men, at least of means, like to. I have money, so I like to spend money, but consuming is not really made for men. So they make a bunch of shit to be bought for women. So, like, I got all the best cookware because I used to work at Macy's and sell pots. Well, I don't have the best cookware. I got the second best because All Clad is the best. It's made in the USA in Pittsburgh. Um, but those are like $1,200 for one pot or pan. But I'll be getting that next. But like I got the best pots and pans, the best knives, because my wife likes to cook. KitchenAid, because my wife likes to cook. So like you enjoy splurging on your family, right? You got kids, you're gonna want to start just buying them all sorts of stuff. And I don't mean willy-nilly, but when you have a certain income, you're able to do certain things. But that's part of providing, and also things like protection, right? So prime example, for my wife's job, she has to go sometimes knock on people's doors, and sometimes it's not in the best of areas. So sometimes, because of the flexibility of my schedule, I'll do things like put on a black suit and some black shades and walk like I'm security with her. And I carry a Glock 48, or excuse me, yeah, Glock 48 MOS is basically a Glock 19. And God forbid
Damn.
something happens, I'm there to put my life on the line. But I'll pause there.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead, and the next person is Kay. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm doing the comments and doing this at the same time. So the next person is Kay. Go ahead and give the people some advice. Help us out.
All right. What I'll tell folks out there, men and women, take your time when it comes to marriage. They always say marriage is not for everybody. So if you choose that you don't want to get married, that's fine. That's your choice. But you will die alone, just like one certain content creator who was telling people to get married and died alone. You will die alone. And being in human services for so long, I've seen a lot of men and women in nursing homes or retirement homes, and nobody come to see them. They have no family, nothing. So the choice is yours. But if you are choosing to be married, take your time, learn who the person is, date, have fun. Then when you're ready, then get married. But marriage is not for everybody. But if you choose to get married, it's a long-term commitment. It's the only university you don't graduate from, all right? Because you will learn every year when you are married. So, good luck to those who are looking to get married, and I wish you the best.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I'm loving it. The next person is Sheed. Go ahead, Sheed.
Yeah, I would say this, for people that want to get married, kind of find yourself first. Don't be out here trying to get married to nobody and you don't even know who you are. A lot of men and women do that nowadays just for the fame. A lot of women that get married, they say, yeah, I'm married. 5 years later and say, I never really liked the dude like that. And the same rule apply for men. Men to get married, because of, conditions. Hey man, if I got two incomes, me and her put our money together, we can do so much. And over time, you never really liked it. You just more looked at the aspect of the money and what she could do, like stuff like that. So find yourself first. I always talk about knowledge itself. I always preach on Go Professor's 9 Laws of Self-Govern, where he talks about the discipline, protecting yourself, and applying selfishness. Some people don't think about themselves. Men to get married, women to get married, and they'll put their husband the priority. They'll put their wife the priority. But the thing is, that happy life, happy wife, if you're not happy, how can you make someone else happy? So you're gonna live life miserable just to make someone else happy. So just start with yourself before you start making a commitment to getting married and doing other things. And I just get that advice.
No, I think it's great advice. You got to take care of yourself, but you can't take care of anybody else. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Let me go ahead and the last but not least, go ahead, D, sweetie.
Okay. Well, what I would say, my advice for those and just looking at marriage, I'm gonna say that marriage is something that you get out of it what you're willing to invest and put into it. Some of the key characteristics that I think and what I've seen, just seeing this professionally and personally, is that communication is very, very, very important in a marriage. And I'm talking about the day-to-day communication to understand, to be able to express, see things eye to eye. Those things, that is very important. Just having that natural love for one another and being able to be affectionate and show that in whatever ways you feel that you all do that is also important. I also encourage those who are thinking about getting married to have goals that you want to set for yourself as far as in marriage. Like, have a plan, have some things that um like in 5 years I want to do this, 10 years this, and things. Have some things that, even though things are not going to always go the way it's planned, but I do think creating a roadmap so that you're going somewhere and you have like things that you're trying to reach and is highly important. And last but not least, I think reciprocity. Treat the person the way you want to be treated. You know, you willing to do certain things, she's willing to also give and take in return, vice versa. I think that is to me, marriage is a selfless thing, a selfless act, and you both, in order to really be happy, you have to look at what you can do for your partner and what they do for you. You both are approaching it in that way. It's not a selfish thing as far as one person giving and the other person is just taking. So it's a selfless act in itself. So
Yeah.
those are the things I would encourage people to think about.
Awesome. I love all you gentlemen's advice. Let me take you off the big screen. Gentlemen, we
Oh,
are
if I can,
go ahead.
one last thing,
Sure.
piece of advice for people looking to get married, right? Get married for the marriage, not wedded for the wedding.
That's something I actually was going to bring up, but we just didn't have. This is the type of show, honestly, that you could make a series. And I'm not even trying to be funny. A lot of people in the audience were actually saying, like, are you going to do another show? Like, you gentlemen, everybody, first of all, everybody up here is an amazing content creator. And I'm not just saying that. I watch all these men up here. And so this is not, I mean, I would love to, but I'm not sure if I'm up here enough to do it. But I definitely would love to do another show. But if you gentlemen were to have an all men's panel, married men's panel, I'm sure that I know the ladies would love to come over and see that and just it. I like it. I like what we did here tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my ending monologue, and I just ask that you stick around for like literally 2 minutes, and we'll end everything together. Okay? Can you guys do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna drop off. Sorry, I have to head on upstairs to handle some business, but I want to appreciate you for having me here.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, so shout out to D Durrell. I know you want D Durrell.
All right, Jay.
All right, brother. All right, Zoe. All right, She. I'll catch y'all later. All right.
Thank you so
Bye,
much. Thank you. This is great, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down really quick, and then I'm gonna do my monologue. We're gonna get up on out of here, honey. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, y'all, I didn't sweat out my little makeup off. Okay, this was great. This was really good. Some of my favorite men in the space. Y'all know I love my supporters. So if y'all are over here, y'all are my favorite men in the space. But I do love these guys. They're always very just very honest and very just true. Just very true. There's no hype there. Just like tonight, just nothing but truth, and I really appreciate it. I'm gonna try not to be too long-winded. I did say that I was gonna sing for y'all. If y'all don't know why, when you get some time and you're not doing anything, watch this video from the beginning. You'll see why I'm singing. I played a video and I was talking about the importance of women hearing kind words from a man. And I played this video, this young man singing this SWV song. And I had been practicing all day to sing the song, so I'm going to sing it. Okay? Me, 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 me. Let me get some water. Let me get some water, y'all. I'm going to sing this song now. Oh, Lord, I'm nervous. Let me go ahead and get this out the way. Me, 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 me. All right, y'all. Okay. Seriously, my voice is gone, but I'm going to try this. Okay. Let me see if y'all can see me because I'm on the other page. Okay. Oh God, I cannot do. Lord Jesus, hold on, a little bit more water, a little bit more water, just a little bit. I swear, if y'all laugh at me, I'm deleting this video. No. Full as a dam at capacity. Passion's about to explode, yeah. I can't escape it surrounding me. I'm caught in a storm that I don't need no shelter from rain down on me. Let your love just shower me, just rain on me, just rain down on me. Let your love just fall like raindrops rain on me. God, I did it. Okay, ciao. Okay, so now that I made a fool out of myself, I sang the song. Y'all want to hear the original song? Y'all want to hear, well, not the original song. Y'all want to hear the young man sing the song? Y'all see the difference? My point in playing that song was that I wanted women. I'm gonna say this. Y'all would be surprised. I'm gonna let the men know this. I'm gonna let the secret out the gate. Y'all would be surprised to know how many women message me or leave me comments saying that they want to see or hear something positive about Black women or just about women in general in this space. We don't get that a lot in this space. So I wanted to do a show because I'm always trying, and Faith knows this, I'm always trying to lift our spirits up. I'm always trying to talk positivity into us, tell us how beautiful we are, how strong we are, how intellectual we are, how funny and talented we are. But it's something about hearing it from a man that looks like you, knowing that he's in your corner. It's something about hearing it. And it's something about hearing it in a tone, in a way that you can receive it. Oftentimes, and even myself, we are content creators and we can be very animated and very aggressive. Lord knows I can be. And it's just nice. It's a nice gift. It's my gift to you ladies. To have gentlemen up here that have love for y'all, love y'all so much that they married y'all and have kids with y'all, and to just give, some very wise words to us all that we need to hear. And so that was the point of the song. That's my little weird way of bringing up the song. Okay. I'm not going to play the song because I played it several times during the show. This was an amazing show. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Faith. my voice started to crack a little bit at the end, honey. Thank you, Miss Brooklyn. Thank you for being here. Okay, I think I'm going to end this live stream, you guys. Peace.